Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is where you are. Thank you for joining me. This is Drawings to Doze Off To for the sleep deprived. And right now, I want you to take a deep breath, lay back, loosen up, and completely untense your body and lay back and prepare to be at peace and just listen to my voice. Listen to the soft music playing in the background and just chill. Today, we are going to be working on, I say we, like we're both drawing it, but today we're going to be working on a double portrait actually, and I never do this. I think the last time I drew two faces together had to be 2017, my Fonzie's portrait painting. Yeah, so I'm doing a double portrait today. The same person, same face, but two different versions of it. And this drawing is called Double the Fun, and I will explain why I decided to name it that later on when you can see more of the video. Oh my god, I have my phone sitting on my desk. I was watching Devin Booker's stream on Twitch, which is happening a lot more these days because the NBA season has been suspended. So all of the basketball players are passing their time playing video games. Anyway, so I'm drawing these two faces right now. I'm getting the features together. You can see my guidelines, and I never really go into detail about that part of my drawing process, so maybe I will this time. So whenever I draw faces, I freehand everything, and in order to get my proportions as accurate as possible, I use these guidelines for where I want the eyes to sit, where I want the nose to sit, and where I want the lips to sit. And as you saw, I first start out by drawing a big either circle or oval, depending on how thin or wide somebody's face is. So if it's wider, then I'll draw a circle, and if it's longer and thinner, I'll draw it as an oval. And that circle or oval represents the entire space that their face is taking up. So even if they do have a thin face, if their face is turned to the side, it's probably going to be taking up more space. So I'll draw a huge circle, and from one point of the circle to the other point is going to be their entire face. So from the ear to the other side of the face where the cheek sits, whatever is the furthest point. And once I get that circle or oval drawn, then I always start with the chin when outlining the actual shape of the face. I feel like that's just easiest for me. So I start with the chin, and then I build, from there, getting the shape of the face, where the forehead curves and where the cheeks curve and where the lips poke out or whatever. And after I have that outline, that's when I draw the guidelines and I figure out where the eyes and nose and the lips are supposed to sit according to where the cheek sits or where the forehead curves. So that's how I freehand my faces. I'm sure there is a much more detailed or easier way to do this that I just don't know about. I'm known for doing things the hard way because I'm a self-taught artist, and when you teach yourself how to do things, it's not always the simplest way to do it. So, but that's just me, and I do have a video going more into detail about how I do this on my channel, how I freehand faces. So I will link that below in the description box. And while I'm talking about links in the description box, I have updated all of that stuff. So now there is a section for everything that I use in all of my different videos. So if you're watching a drawing video and you want to know what drawing supplies I use, that's down in the description box under drawing. I have a gaming section. I have a filming section with all my camera equipment and lighting. I have I'm not sure what else I have, but I have a lot of stuff down there. So from now on, with every video, you can check the description box for anything that you might want to purchase. And most of them are affiliate links, so you will also be supporting me. If you click those links to purchase something, I will get a small percentage. So that is always much appreciated. Now back to this drawing. So I've already started shading in the face, and this color palette is a very orange and brown color palette. That was mostly what I used, was just a bunch of browns, a bunch of oranges, and some red here and there because her makeup was very red. Her makeup in these original photos is absolutely beautiful and was a huge part of why I decided to draw this portrait of her. This is a girl I've drawn before. We follow each other on Instagram. Her name is Mina. Her Instagram is That's Mina, and I will also link that below in the description box. And she models a lot, and she takes a lot of really lovely photos of herself. Like, she really serves looks. And every time she uploads something, I think to myself, I want to paint that, I want to draw that. And I told her back in 2018, after I drew her little character drawing, I was like, I'm gonna do a big painting of you one day. And I still plan on doing that, but when she uploaded these photos, I knew I had to do something with it. So, and I couldn't choose which one I liked better. She had multiple photos in a set with this makeup look, and I couldn't choose between these two photos that I'm drawing, so I just decided to draw them both, and that is how double the fun came to be. So right now I'm just filling in her beautiful eyeshadow. She had her eyeshadow went from like a deep brown tone to a deep orange to a really bright orange, and then kind of white in the corners. So I was trying to portray that as best as I could, but at this point I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to mix or layer these colors to make it look the way it does in her photos, because I mean, the makeup was just out of this world. So I eventually realized that to get the look that I was trying to get, then I wanted to use this brown you see me using now, this kind of chestnut brown, as the main color for her skin. And then I would blend it with my lighter brown and my orange. I know I'm saying brown and orange and deep brown and deep orange, but I'll put the colors in the description box too, by their real names. But yeah, I would just mix the darkest brown with my lighter brown, and then with my dark orange, and then my light orange, and then that very light beige color. Right now, I'm still figuring out where everything goes, but it'll all come together in the end. I just want to say that I am so proud of this little thing you see me shading right now, which is supposed to be what's connecting the two faces together. I'm so proud of myself because I drew that and shaded that in with zero reference, and it came out looking exactly how I saw it in my head and looking the way it's supposed to look. It looks like how it would look if two faces were like being stretched apart by the skin. So I just wanted to say that I was proud of myself for doing that with no reference. The most fun part of this drawing, I think outside of doing her nose, because I always enjoy noses, and hers was actually very easy to shade, unlike most of the noses that I do. But I think outside of the nose, my favorite part was the teeth and the lips. She was wearing a very shiny lip gloss that just blended in with the natural tone of her lips. And so once I figured out what colors I needed to blend for that, and then I was able to go back in with my white gel pen to highlight how shiny and glossy it was, it just really set the photo off. And that's what I love so much about highlights. It just it just makes everything look 10 times better. Also, I would like to note that when it comes to drawing with color pencils, I like a lot of texture in my drawings. And that's why when you look closely at my drawings, like, they are very nicely blended, but there is still this kind of graininess to it in some parts. And I just want to put it out there that that is completely intentional. If I want something to look smooth, it will look smooth. I tend to like eyes and lips to look smooth. And I like skin to just have that texture to it. I feel like it just really adds character to the drawing. This is the second time that week I had to draw those super thick, long eyelashes. I had to do the same ones on my Meg the Stallion painting. So I pretty much felt like a pro at this point. I do plan on doing a tutorial on how to shade natural hair with color pencils. I might actually use this video as an example. But yeah, so I won't go into detail there about how I was able to do that, but I'll be uploading a video tutorial about that soon. How to make natural hair realistically with color pencils. And now we're moving on to the second phase. So everything is pretty much the same. Obviously the color palette is the same. I'm dealing with the same face. And the expression is just different. And in the first picture, you know, she's poking her lips out. In the second picture, she's kind of sticking her tongue out. So I wanted to name the drawing Double the Fun, like a play on the, what's that quote, double your pleasure, double your fun, or whatever, something like that. I don't remember exactly. It was in the back of my head while I was trying to figure out a name for this. And so it does kind of add like kind of a inappropriate, I guess, not suitable for work vibe to it, which is fine. You know, I don't have any issue drawing NSFW work, as you guys should know by now. But I just felt like her expressions really kind of matched with that title. And obviously there's two faces, so Double the Fun, I thought it was perfect. I actually named it Double Trouble at first, and then when Double the Fun came to me, I was like, oh no, that's too perfect. I have to change it. You might notice that for the second portrait, things went a lot quicker. And that's just because I had the color palette completely figured out at this point. And I don't know, it just flowed better. Everything was easier the second time around. I guess that's the plus to drawing the same person twice, 2 times in a row. I think the one thing I did differently once I started the second portrait is that I decided to shade in all of the brown parts first, for the most part. So I got all of the darkest parts of her face shaded in, and then I kind of shaded from there. And I typically don't do that with color pencils. So I was kind of doing more of that same technique that I've been using for my pastels lately, where I just blend multiple or shade multiple spaces all at once instead of shading and blending as I go. And that's also probably a reason why things went a little bit faster. So who knows, I might start doing that again. Like I said, I might start doing that with my color pencils as well, just like I changed my technique for my pastel paintings. Not that I'm having trouble completing projects quickly enough, because I don't know if you guys read my description boxes where I say how long it took me to complete a project, but for the most part, a color pencil piece like this only took 7.5 hours. You know, I could do pieces like this in one day if I had the patience. You guys can't tell, obviously, but at this point in the shading, like, I wanted so badly to just start shading those lips and get those completed because I knew I was gonna enjoy it. Um, but I kept telling myself, no, it'll look much better if the rest of the face is done first and then you get to fill in the lips. So I just made myself put it off, but I wanted to so bad. You can see I already like tried to start shading it, and then I stopped myself, like, focus. had such a struggle with my gel pens on this day, though. I don't know, they just don't want to work for me anymore. They keep drying out, and I, wet them, get some water on them, and then they flow too easily. And you'll see that too when I try to draw in her nose ring. I get white ink everywhere, like two big blotches, and luckily, you can just wipe them up because it's like paint. But that was annoying. So, everybody, we're coming to the end of this drawing, and I wanted to let you guys know that I am making prints. Prints will be available, should be within the next week. This piece is my most popular piece of 2020 so far. So, it did numbers across all of my social media platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Just the sketch of this drawing got 500 likes on Instagram. I was in shock, like before any kind of color was added or shading was done. 500 plus likes. So I really appreciate everybody that showed this piece love. And if you would like to purchase prints or the original drawing, I will have links in the description box, of course. And I want to say thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and for those of you who are dozing off right now, I hope you have sweet dreams. Good night.